Episode 4, Sensible Living Podcast and Blog. Michael McGregor here. Today's topic is going to be food storage basics. So, we want to start thinking about our shift scenario, our shift situation, and our food storage. Many people will turn around and tell you, I got 20 years of MREs, and great, you got 20 years of Mr. E, MREs, Mountain House, I got Wise Food Storage, you got all that. That's all fine and dandy, and you look at the calorie content and some of the MRE. I think off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact number. You're looking at 1,200 calories. Survival situation where you're working, you're trying to do stuff, you're moving, you're hiking, this. 1,200 calories for a prolonged period of time. That's not enough. It really isn't. You're gonna start fading away, getting tired, getting beat down from it because there's just not enough calories. Calories equal energy. If you have too much energy, too many calories, and you're not expending it all, that does turn to fat. But if you're expending so much energy and you don't have enough calories coming in, you're going to waste away. I mean, that's fat loss and fat gain and fat loss theory right there. So, we don't want to spend thousands of dollars on getting all this Wise Food Storage, Mountain House, MREs, cases of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, having a few MREs for a camp trip or some Mountain House or just having around for just something quick, boom, got to get it in there. So you have your MREs, you have your Mountain House, they're good to have on hand. Food storage, maybe you're in an apartment, you have limited space and you really just don't know the best place, you don't have a lot of room to store all that not money. You don't have all that room to store all that food, so you got to start thinking how to utilize space a little better. One of the things that I utilize is what is called copy canning, and it's not necessarily dealing with like canning, but copy canning goes with the philosophy of one thing that I like: store what you eat and eat what you store. Don't be going out there buying strange things you've never had. And if you're going to store something, buy it, eat it, see if you like it. Because let me tell you something, if there's a survival situation and all you have is barbecue spam and you bite into it and it's the most nastiest thing you've ever bit into, you might not want to have that on hand. You want to be able to enjoy what you're eating. So start with a food log and keep this food log for 30 days. What do you buy for your house? What do you normally eat on a weekly basis? And out of that, what type of things store for long periods of time? And I'm not talking 20-year storage. I'm talking what stores for 6 months, what stores for a year. So on that, what you're going to do is, one thing that we go through in my house on a regular basis. My wife, oatmeal, protein powder, protein bars, and orange juice. So whenever I go shopping, we buy a 24-pack of oatmeal. That's it's pretty much for the month. You add an extra one and you're good. Add an extra box of 6 and you're good for the month. So we buy the 24-pack, but every time when we go shopping, I buy 2 more. So I buy a duplicate. So inside of our storage, and then I actually write the dates on the can so I know when I bought it. And what we do is, as we eat something, we replace it. I always have 3 to 4 extra boxes of oatmeal. I have 3 to 4 extra boxes of the protein bars. Protein bars a little bit more because there's only 5 per box. So we're going 2 boxes a week. So I buy the 2. I buy an extra 4 more on top of that. So we always have that revolving. Soups, refried beans, Matter of fact, refried beans just the other night. We had, it was Taco Tuesday for us. And, you know, we do refried beans with our tacos because I like to do the soft shell, put the refried beans on it, stick it over the hard shell, and boom, there's my, you know, soft and hard taco mix. I ended up buying 5 extra cans of the refried beans. I only used up 1. I'm sitting there looking in there. I got 10 cans of refried beans. I'm good, you know. Next time I go shopping, I'll buy a few extras. Orange juice, concentrate. You know, I got that. You know, I have 7 cans of that. So we have the orange juice. I mean, orange juice, vitamins. That's vitamin C and other vitamins and everything. So we're maintaining that good nutritional stuff. Peanut butter. You know, oh my God, my wife goes through peanut butter like it's like it's water. So I'm buying 4 or 5, you know, jars of peanut butter a week, and she's going through 6 of them. Yeah, do the math. I have to actually hide the peanut butter, just so you know. So you want to make sure that every time you buy, and then you every time you use it, you bring one forward, put one back, put the date so you know. That way, your food storage not only is maintaining a sense of freshness, but it's also what you normally eat. It's something you enjoy. You know, I went out and I was like, okay, I don't eat a lot of canned vegetables and stuff like that. So I went along and I decided that, hey, I'm going to try this sausage hash. Yeah, I cooked it. It was okay, you know, on its own. It was kind of horrible, but you could add some spices, stuff like that, put on a tortilla. It was okay with some powdered eggs. Yeah, okay. Honestly, I'm not going to eat it unless I absolutely have to. So guess what? That's not a part of my food storage anymore. I don't do the Spam, but, you know, I got deviled chicken. I'm not big on deviled ham. I got deviled chicken coming out of the wazoo. Mandarin orange, canned mandarin orange, black beans, refried beans, lima beans, green beans, corn, white corn, yellow corn, sweet petite corn. I love pickled beets. I'm not going to lie. I have about 27 cans of pickled beets in storage, so I'm not too... I'm not afraid of running out of pickled beets. So, but I like pickled beets. As far as my meats, I do the same thing. Now, living in a small apartment, my freezer's one of those little tiny itty bitty freezers. I went out and I bought myself a 7 cubic inch, one of those, you know, 7 cubic inch ice boxes. And I have my meats stored in there along with my vegetables and, you know, some frozen fruits for smoothies. I even have extra cans of protein powder just in case. Hey, you know what? Okay, if it gets down to the point where my protein source is coming from, you know, water and protein powder, shit has really, really hit the fan. Now, I know some people like to have, I got 45 years of canned food and vegetables, and that's what I got. That's great. Power to you. That's not my mentality. My focus on food storage is basically this way. Your year of food that you have stored up is to get you through the slow season of your crops growing. And that's kind of how I look at this. I have to, living in an apartment right now. I don't have my property yet in Idaho. I don't have that set up. I don't have my farm set up, so I have to think more locally and more condensed in an apartment in a smaller place. And also, while you're doing your copy canning, don't forget to set up your food storage and your medicine storage as well for your pets. And we'll get into medicine storage much later on and stuff like that. I want to keep this kind of focus on the food storage. So also part of your copy canning and your food storage is going to be your supplies for your pets. You know, and of course we could always sit there, you know, looking at your dog, and, you know, that's a meal ready, that's an MRE right there, meal ready to eat. So I know you dog animal lovers, you don't find that funny, but you know what, bushcrafting and survival, you'd be surprised of what people have done in other countries, you know, when it comes down to that stuff. You know, we'll take, you know, Haiti on its own, but you know, your food storage is your copy canning. Make a list, record everything you're eating, buy 2 to 3 extra every time you go grocery shopping. If you use one, you buy 3 to replace it. You use one, you buy 3 to replace it. And sooner than later, you're going to have a pantry that is just packed. And you know what? I always say, hopefully we'll never have to use it, but at least it's there if we do. And we had a small little blizzard. Everyone, milk, bread, and eggs, milk, bread, and eggs, milk, bread, and eggs. You all know my feeling about that. If you're running the store over a blizzard for milk, bread, and eggs, it's because you don't have a plan. Well, that blizzard hit. I didn't go to the store. I had my fire logs, I had my wood, I had my food, and even on top of that, part of my copy canning, I had those, what do they call them? Those comfort foods. We had, potato skins, jalapeno hot poppers. We had those southwestern taquito things. Guess what? That made those 2 days dealing with the blizzard kind of nice. I was like, I didn't, a couple bags of chips, and I'm kind of getting away from the chip thing more and more. And of course, he's going to do that. Oh, sorry. Doing the chip thing more and more. I'm getting away from it. I just, me personally, I've dropped about 25 pounds, and I'm trying to drop even more. I'm trying to lean out. That's a whole thing about the survival, your fitness level. That's going to be an upcoming topic here. You're pushing 400 or 500 pounds. I hate to break it to you, your survival may not be that long. It might not necessarily be the zombies or the blizzard that gets you or the super volcano. It might be that damn heart attack or the diabetes. Just saying. You want to start thinking about your physical fitness level. If you can't run, you can't move, you can't, if walking to the refrigerator and you're out of breath, you may want to reconsider your fitness level. Just saying. The reason I can say this is because guess what? I was there. I was starting to get that bad. I started working on it. I still got a ways to go. So you want to start thinking about, a little bit more, healthier eating. And you know what? Tell you the truth, down the road, that's going to be one of our topics. Keto dieting, paleo, stuff like that. Very few of you don't know my history. You don't know some of the jobs I've done in the past. Guess what? I used to be a personal trainer and nutritional coach. I've actually helped people lose 100 pounds. I helped one lady lose 150 pounds. That's a whole person. Okay? Me, biggest I've ever gotten was 275, not 375, 275. I was almost 300 pounds. I am 6'2", almost 300 pounds. Luckily for my height, I carried it somewhat well. It was mostly in my stomach, which, guess what? That's the part where it's going to kill you if you're a male. So, you know what? I know what it's like. I still have a ways to go. I'm still sitting here at about 248, 250 pounds. I want to drop another 20 pounds. 6'2", 220, 225 pounds with between a 15 and 10% body fat ratio, that would make me a very happy individual. It really would. And I think I'd be pretty solid. Little other things I need to work on is, my cardio, my endurance level. I'm a 48-year-old man. I've done the exercise fitness thing. I got to get back. It's a daily struggle, and it's a daily thing. You'll find out. I'm just a regular guy giving you a little bit of information of the things that I have learned over the years and my perspective. You don't have to take this as a gospel, but it's something hopefully you'll think about and say, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two here or there. If you learn one thing out of anything that I teach, guess what? That's a value to you. You learned one thing. So with that, as a recap of your copy canning, you want to make a 30-day log of all what you eat daily. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. What's your comfort foods? What's your vices? What do your dogs and cats and rabbits and whatever pets you have eat? And you want to make sure that every time you go shopping, you buy a little extra of each thing. A little extra maybe a little extra of the oatmeal one week, and next week a little extra of the lunch stuff, and a little extra of the dinner stuff. Create a do what the stores do. They eat the oldest, keep the newest, or eat the oldest and move everything forward. There used to be a term for that, and I can't think of it right now. But in your storage closet, write the dates on it. And that way, you know what you have. And it's right there. And not only are you storing what you eat, you're eating what you store. And as always, we prepare for the high probability, low impact. Don't worry so much about the high impact, low probability. You are more likely to suffer a job loss than you are a super volcano. Just something to keep in mind when you're preparing. And always remember, you'll probably use your multi-tool more often than you'll use your handgun. Or, as I like to say, hopefully you're using your multi-tool more often than your handgun. Those of you that are living states that are a little more restrictive, this is my advice to you. You might not like it. Move! If you're in California, New York, or New Jersey, and they're restricting your rights to support your Second Amendment, move! That simple, okay? Those states in a serious shift scenario, a shit hits the fan scenario, those cities are going to eat themselves. Just take a look at LA and how you can get out of LA. Look at LA on a normal traffic work week, and now think of something bad has happened and everyone's trying to flee that city. How fast are you going to get out? Now, when you leave, here's the important part. Don't bring your shitty ass politics to where you're moving. Seriously. The problem, what's happening with a lot of people is they're moving out of these states, moving into rural communities, and then they're sitting here pushing your gosh darn tax increases on the small local folk, and then you're like, oh, well, Jim Bob over there, he's got a couple of cars, we need to pass laws. Leave Jim Bob alone. You moved to Tennessee. That's how Tennessee is. Okay? But you know what? You support your Second Amendment rights. You know exactly where I'm coming from. You know what I'm talking about. And you're probably going to like where you're moving. And you're not going to bring that stupid ideology with you. Leave Jim Bob alone. With that, you have a fantastic night. Have a great week. And until the next show,